Hello and welcome. This is Imran Khan and you are watching the first episode of Reporters Lounge, a program wherein we will interview politicians, policymakers, retired and serving civil servants, high-profile guests, which includes the occasional celebrities on topics ranging from social to political. Today I have with me Barrister Chaudhry Aitzaz Ahsan. Sir, thank you for your time. Can you tell us what describes you the best? Your role as a politician, a writer, or a lawyer?
I think what people see me most is as a lawyer, and then as a politician, and third as a writer. I've just written one book and contributed to two others, but I have my book, The Indus Saga, is no doubt in its particular genre a bestseller, and we've gone into something like almost 50 editions since it was first published by Oxford University Press.
If I can interject, you had very busy roles. I mean, as a lawyer, you were leading different movements and you were a very active lawyer, taking on very high-profile cases. As a politician, you have served as a minister, and then even when you were in opposition, either you were in jail or running some movement. Where did you find the time to write a book, and what compelled you to write it?
Oh, the book I wrote in long periods of jail under Ziaul-Haq. And in prison, you have all the time.
So it's Ziaul-Haq that compelled you to write this book?
Yes. In fact, he did, in the sense that he was the one demonstration of, I think, awkward Islam that he represented, fully represented.
Are there any good attributes to his government, or it's all bad?
Almost all bad. I can't think of any good attribute.
All right. What achievement are you most proud of?
My?
Yes. Most proud of?
Oh, I don't have too many achievements if you ask me seriously. And I don't know, I think choosing my wife.
Okay. So it's not becoming a minister or writing a book?
No. These attributes are shared by many.
What is the one thing you could have done without? I mean, of all the things that you have achieved, what is that one thing that you think, okay, if I haven't done this and instead I had done this, it would have been much better? Is there anything?
I haven't utilized time for myself and my family. I would like to do, if I were to go back.
And where would you shave off this time? As a lawyer, as a politician?
As a lawyer.
As a lawyer.
Politics has been sporadic.
All right.
And but the lawyer has been a consistent. I mean, if you have a case tomorrow, you have a case tomorrow, and it's not as if I have chased anyone in the profession. But God is kind. This is the fact is that I have had the most unusual clients put their confidence in me, in my life, their life and liberty and reputation in my hands, like Mia Nawaz Sharif.
Is he a client you regret to take?
No. He was a client. When he came to me, it was a surprise to me. Why? I had been the leader of the opposition to Nawaz Sharif as Prime Minister, and I was the leader of the opposition in the Senate. And I spared no occasion, no opportunity to actually reduce him in stature, in reputation. All in parliamentary terms, all in parliament. So this was in a soft criticism, but very sharp, very cutting. I, for instance, laid a wager that if Mia Nawaz Sharif makes a 5-minute speech without notes, I'll feed all the MNAs in any restaurant, in any place they want in Pakistan.
And what was the response?
Sorry?
What was the response?
No, there was no response.
All right.
He was sitting in the assembly when I first said this was joint houses,
And what makes you think he cannot do his speech without?
no, now he can. Now he
Now
can.
he can.
Now he can.
So he has
Yes,
learned and grown as a politician.
Oh yes, now he can. Now he can. I'm not saying.
We'll come to this subject later in the interview. Now, I was reading in an article, and that reporter had described you as rebellious, as a leader with a rebellious streak. And looking at your career, I mean, resigning as a politician 2 years after you were made a provincial minister, and then again very recently going against the party that got your membership suspended. Is it an apt definition of who you are?
The principal of my school, Aitzaz Ahsan, styled me as a rebel without a cause. And that was when I was in school. I objected to anything that I found was discriminatory.
But here what we see is that your cause is almost always law and lawyers and supremacy of law. Because back in 1977, it was the lawyers, it was an attack on the lawyers by police who were protesting against the alleged rigging that got you to resign. So there you have a cause.
No, I certainly, but in 1977, actually, I resigned from the cabinet.
Sir.
And I thought I was just back from Cambridge and from Gray's Inn, a barrister from Gray's Inn. So I had those British values in me. And I thought resigning from the cabinet is a perfectly decent thing to do. I put in my caveat on this, in a meeting on the 8th of April. About when the approval was being sought from the Punjab government about the operation and for the next day, 9th of April. This was the assembly had to meet, and there was controversy about that. Now, in the presence of Shahid Bhutto, he was presiding, I said to him that I don't think this tomorrow, the use of force will be necessary, and if it is necessary, I don't think it will be, it will do us any good. So I suggested that use of force be denied to the police, and use of at least firearms. Now, the assembly endorsed, the cabinet endorsed that. And next day, there were people who died. A lot of people died. A lot of people were shot. And since I had dissented from this, I thought there's no justification for me to stay in the cabinet, so I resigned. But it was a different story. It was as if I had resigned from the party. I wrote in that letter that because it was addressed to the chairman, Pakistan People's Party, and I wrote in that I'm prepared, I will be happy and willing to perform any other duty that is assigned to me. It's just that on this point, I think that my ways part from the cabinet. So I didn't resign from the party, but next day or 2 days later, I was thrown out of the party by the Punjab president of the party and the Punjab Secretary General of the party. They threw me out. So.
And then you again joined the party when there was Ziaul-Haq at the helm, knowing that there will be difficulties coming your way if you took that option.
Well, I had a lot of difficulties on the way to that, and I had been intensely with intensity in a movement for the restoration of democracy. There was an MRD movement. And I was sent to jail several times. What
is your total stint in jail?
Sorry?
One stint got his book, or it was multiple stints?
Stakes?
Your total stint in prison?
Stint about 2.5 years.
And including under Musharraf?
Musharraf, I was detained for 3 months, 3.5 months. But Ziaul-Haq, you see, you didn't know when he'd pick you up and when he would release you. You had no idea of that. It was an indefinite order.
While one sits to research Aitzaz Ahsan, one thing that is a recurring feature is an allegation on you for providing a list of 6 separatists to India that helped them clamp down on the Khalistan movement. So my question to you is, did you hand over a list of 6 separatists to India?
List, yes, but not of 6 separatists. Nothing to do with
What was the list about then?
The list was the one that we sent officially to Mr. Bhuta Singh, who was the Home Minister, my counterpart in India, with a list of Pakistani prisoners in India, and we tallied it with Indian prisoners in Pakistan, and we exchanged those prisoners.
Was there any list of this sort being maintained by Pakistan?
No, I don't think so.
So I don't think so. Brought about this?
And if I have said that many times in the media and on the floor of the House, National Assembly, and Senate, I said that there were at that time, by that time, 7 army chiefs, about 11 directors general of ISI. If a civilian had just come by such a list, he would have been shot. And if a civilian had actually handed them these lists over to the Indians, he would have been shot multiple times.
Or at least tried under treason.
Tried under treason, yes. I said, I am prepared to be tried. If this allegation is to be believed, I am prepared to be tried.
So what brought about these allegations? Because they have stuck, they have stayed there. Why so?
You see, we are a nation where in politics, I will do anything to destroy your politics. I will try to prove you are a blasphemer. And a lot of our candidates try to do that. They normally are discouraged by social opprobrium. But people are reckless here. People are reckless. There was a press conference by a lady of my name, who was a dear friend of mine.
And who made her do it?
It was Nawaz Sharif and the Sharifs. She was in the cabinet in that time. So they should allege that I had taken a list and handed it over to Rajiv Gandhi. If the men behind her in uniform, if the army chief or the DGISI believed that, they would have, I was gone. There's no way you can do such a grievous thing and survive in this country. And I said, try me if you want to. And I consistently said that. Now, there was no list, no nothing. But this was a kind of engineered. It was primarily meant to embarrass the Prime Minister. Because what they said was that he took this list from her as a present, as a goodwill gesture.
Coming a bit towards the present, your own party leaders, Pakistan People's Party leader, blame you for having what they claim is a pro-Imran Khan policy or pro-Imran Khan approach, and they say that you lean towards PTI.
First of all, I am from Punjab, and there are groupings in the party, and unfortunately, but it is so common that you have no point in saying unfortunately, but it's a common. We are a splintered and splintering society. So there are people who don't want me to see me in any position of authority in the party. I have no party.
Are you in the party?
I'm in the party. Of course I'm in the party.
Because in October last year, they had suspended your membership.
Oh yeah, they do that.
So what is your status? I mean,
my status? No, I am
still a part
that's
of the party.
yes. I'm a member of the Central Executive Committee. It is not as intolerant a party as people believe it to be. I was telling you that I was lucky in my profession, in my clients. The man I opposed the most, when he is in trouble, his life, liberty, and his reputation are in.
He came to you.
He came to me to be his lawyer. I just said I'll have to consult Benazir Shaheed.
And do you wear that as a medal?
Oh, of course.
All right.
Not that but I wear that with myself. There must be something right with me. The Chief Justice of Pakistan, when he's in trouble, and that's how I got into the lawyers' movement. He comes to me. If the Chief Justice of Pakistan, when he has his difficult days, faced with an army chief and military general that comes to me, I think that's a great honor.
After he got restored, were you proud of what he did? I mean, because he's the man you helped restore. As a Chief Justice, he started taking suo motos left and right, and that is still to this day a controversy.
Oh, he did many distasteful things.
Did he have a word with him?
Oh, there was a time, up to that time we had we were very, what I had, the day he was restored, I announced, the media said, now you will have a comfortable bench. I said, no comfortable bench. I am not going to appear in any case in his bench at all. Not at all. And I didn't.
So in theory, do you agree with what our politicians say today that judges somehow affected by the entire proceeding of the case should recuse? Targeting Chief Justice?
Oh, certainly.
So you think it is wrong on his part not to recuse from such benches?
Well, I think he should recuse from this. The bench in which his mother-in-law's tape is to be played, audio tape is to be played. Although I have some strong views on audio tapes, but we can leave that for the time being. What has happened, if you've noticed, in the last few days, it's like he's put his back up. In the last few weeks, the language with which, from public platforms, Maryam Nawaz Sharif, Khaja Mohammad Asif, the Defence Minister, the Interior Minister, the Law Minister,
portfolio-less Javed Latif sir,
and Javed Latif, the portfolio-less
Minister.
The language in which they've addressed him is something that I would also, I would have been very irked. This Chief Justice is a cool cat.
I'll want to come to this, later in the interview. But before this, I just want to wrap up on the Imran Khan, the pro-Imran Khan side, because you have also been his neighbor. You live in the same vicinity, so you have seen him go from a superstar or a cricketer to a philanthropist, and then in politics you have gone him see from strength to strength, and now you have seen his rise and fall of politics as well. Do you think Imran Khan has what it takes to bounce back and break free from the inextricable mess of legal cases and the controversies that he finds himself in? In simple, do you think Imran Khan still has a political career?
As long as he retains his vote bank, there's nothing can demolish him. Whether he has a 40% vote bank or 50 or 60 or 70 is irrelevant. He has a substantial vote bank. And that substantial vote bank is also like a cult about him. These people who have left him will not matter. This is the vote banks of these political parties are very enigmatic. In fact, the more they persecute him, the more he comes out as being the victim, the more his vote bank will rise.
Do you agree with the government who is saying that Imran Khan should approach the Prime Minister and resolve these issues and move forward? Or do you think that will undercut his position as a defiant leader?
No, I think he has to take the hard line now, Imran. And if he were to take the switch to a soft line now, there would be a hemorrhage in the vote bank.
But where is his hard line taking him now? Isn't he trapped in a blind alley?
It's a very difficult route. He's got into a tunnel, and a blind tunnel he's walking in. And the state itself has demonstrated over time an enormous capacity to wipe out political elements.
Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and Imran Khan, do you think they have the same kind of following, or Imran Khan following is more ardent?
There is two kinds of following. One is the governor, the minister, the federal minister, the provincial minister.
I'm talking about the voters.
No, they have abandoned him. But his remaining following, I don't think they are abandoning him. And Bhutto's following did not abandon him. Bhutto had to be tested, his vote bank had to be tested, not in the next year or 6 months. It had to be tested after 10 years of sustained violence upon the Jala. In Imran Khan's case, it's a little easier, much easier. That he's at a high position in the vote bank, and he's been thrown out, and he'll be asked to. People will be taken to the polls in October, maximum November. There has to be an election. You can't have this illegitimate vacuum like you have in Punjab and Khyber. The Nigrans, the caretakers, have run out of their term of office.
But who's there to stop them?
No, that is one thing, indeed. And that only proves that whatever the Constitution may say, whatever the law may say, whatever, they are like books that have already been torn and abrogated. Because I say, I will not obey the Supreme Court. The Prime Minister says that. His brother, actually, he gave the line from London that since we do not accept this bench, we do not accept the judgment. Now, this is what...
Sir, on the issue of the bench, when these brother judges were writing dissenting note, were they aware and cognizant of what their dissenting note would do? I mean, their dissenting note became the reason government did what it did.
Absolutely. And these, I'm very sorry for them. 3 of them at least I know, 4 of them. And they would not want to be standing on that side of history. They would not be seen to be standing with a man on horseback on the other side of the bank of the river. But they've got caught. They got caught because there was a schism in the Supreme Court. And that schism had the Supreme Court judges heroically fighting the Supreme Court Chief Justice, their own Chief Justice, for a greater common thinking.
But what's that greater common thinking?
No, they say that there should be a committee of judges who forms the benches and assigns the cases rather than the Chief Justice himself. He's a dictator.
All right. For this moment, there is no committee. Chief Justice is deciding on his own. But yet, on the other hand, because of these judges and their dissenting note, government has kind of abrogated the Constitution, and quite frankly, they don't care about the law. They have disregarded the law as anything.
That's the problem. That's the problem. What they've done is they've taken off all their clothes and stand naked in front of the Chief Justice and say, do what you can do for them. This is the Punjabi way of putting it. Now, one couldn't have even imagined 9/11 is said not to be a failure of intelligence, but a failure of imagination. This is a failure of imagination. I could never have believed that a day would come when a prime minister would say, or a minister would say, or even just an ordinary member of the National Assembly would get up and say, I will not obey the Supreme Court and I will summon the Chief Justice.
Why is the Chief Justice so weak? Apparently, he's so weak that he cannot even enforce his own authority.
He is weak because he has a house divided.
But ultimately, he is the Chief Justice. The burden is on his shoulders.
Yes, he should. I think he should have been bolder. I believe that if he were to give judgment, they will be obeyed. They have to be obeyed.
And on this very subject, again, going back to the topic of Chief Justice showing restraint, don't you think him showing restraint is kind of undercutting the authority of the Supreme Court of the country?
The problem with the Chief Justice, the problem facing him, not with him, but facing him, that he passes an order, 14th of May, elections. Now, that is a very specific order, but there is nobody who is prepared to execute it. And those who should be executing it are those who are opposing it and saying we don't believe in it, we are not going to obey it. They say it out loud and they do it, they don't obey it. The army is obviously against him. Otherwise, everything would have fallen in place. The Muslim League Nawaz and 12 other parties, but more significantly Muslim League Nawaz and ANP and People's Party are refusing to obey the Chief Justice. Now, this is the first in this country. And if it goes along that, then goodbye to constitutionalism and goodbye to all political parties.
On this very subject, what it means for our future? I mean, when the next political party will take reins in the center, and if they feel the time is not right to go into elections, they would do the same, and the precedent is set. How will you stop them?
Oh, yeah. You just say, the finance minister says, I don't have the money.
So what is the right way, at this point in time, considering all the mess there is, what is the right way to go about it? Because if you go for elections in October, say, then the plan of eliminating Imran Khan has already taken place. Whatever you do now, it's what you had wanted to do when he was asking elections in Punjab.
I don't have an answer for that, unfortunately. I just have regrets, deep regrets. Because these are the judges we got reinstated. We put our lives at risk. I got hit with a big stone in the center of my stomach from a policeman. And I was in the ICU for 2 days and 3 nights. We put our lives at risk, our professions at risk, everything.
So do you feel responsible in some case?
If you think responsible in a sense that am I not the person who brought about this situation, I feel responsible. But if you think it's as a guilt, no. It's no guilt about it. I still believe that no army chief has the right to dismiss a chief justice.
You have been very critical about senior penal judge Qazi Aitzaz, apparently for writing open letters to the Chief Justice of Pakistan.
Yeah, that is not done.
But what should one do when one is raising voice and nobody is listening to them?
You don't do this. You don't write a letter from one office to the next. It's 10 feet away or 5 feet away, and issue it to the press at the same time. Not as a judge of the Supreme Court. Regardless of whether you've been listened to or not, you have all the opportunity and you are airing your differences from the bench in observations that may not be relevant to that case also.
I mean, just looking at his concerns from his perspective, can he be justified, where he's coming from when you were in the bench and, the bench is dissolved? willy-nilly, not even informed. What do you do? Where do you go from that?
That's not the first time it has happened in Pakistan. It should not happen. But the judge should not take that personally. He should take it up in the full court's meeting. He should take it up.
Do you think ideally he should have waited for his turn to become the Chief Justice to bring about all the changes he wants?
All right. That was also a way. And but I think most of all, we should have taken it up in the full court meetings, not in public. Not in public.
There is a general perception that it will be a good omen for Pakistan Muslim Nawaz and or its allies to have Qazi Faiz Isa as a Chief Justice of Pakistan. Do you agree with it?
Qazi has attributed some favorable judgments to the Sharif family, like the one in Hudaybiyah case. In Hudaybiyah case, he dismissed an appeal by the prosecution against Nawaz Sharif
For reopening the case?
Nawaz Sharif had his petition had been entertained beyond time. And the judge held that the allegation against him and the prosecution was time barred. Now, criminal cases are never time barred. If you commit a rape and you're caught 15 years later, you can't say, you can't touch me, 15 years have gone by.
Wasn't there be a financial matter?
It was a financial matter in the sense that it was a crime in the financial, in finance, but it was a case of money laundering. Money had been, vast sums have been brought into Pakistan under a law which was itself promulgated by Nawaz Sharif, that if somebody brings in foreign exchange, there are no questions at all. No question. Now, the justification was we want to attract foreign exchange and dollars. What people started doing, and which Nawaz Sharif was accused of himself, that they started sending pounds and dollars out of Pakistan on the hundi basis, without reference to the courts, to the banks, not through the banking channel. And they started sending that money back in dollars and pounds into the Pakistani economy and banks through the banking channel. And they claimed you can't ask any questions, where did it come from, where it had been generated.
How was it criminal? Again, because what you're telling me is again a financial matter.
Financial matter, it was criminal because of the source of money. The source of money was in Pakistan, and it was mostly bribery and commissions. Now, to whiten that, it was sent to Britain. In 5 seconds, it was clicked to. It's a click away. It was clicked to a Model Town bank branch of the Habib Bank Limited. Mainly the Habib Bank Limited on Circular Road had been used, and then that money was withdrawn and paid to and distributed. And this was billions of rupees. Now, this was money laundering. This was the allegation, and he was convicted in this case also, but he was convicted, he was disqualified, mainly because he had an Okama.
Okay, coming towards the very end of the interview, do you have any advice for our judges in the Supreme Court? I mean, given what is happening there?
I would advise the Chief Justice to fix the case of the 90 days, election or not. This question, put it to all 15 judges.
Full court.
Full court. None will say that you can go beyond 90 days for holding the elections of a provincial assembly. It is utterly illegal, the regime that is acting as so-called caretakers in Punjab and in the KPK.
So what resisted him from forming a full court? Because all the dissenting notes, none say that election should be delayed.
No.
Every dissenting note is about the elections that the High Court has already given a judgment. But the government very smartly used it. So what stopped the Chief Justice from forming a full court?
You see, initially, I tell you, if the court had sat together, brickbats would have been exchanged on the court. So I think the Chief Justice deferred it because he knew very well that there will be fisticuffs at least. And Faiz is a very temperamental person. And you can't trust in this or that.
Will future Chief Justice tolerate what is happening? I mean, if the same criticism is directed towards him, will he show the same restraint or he'll go head on?
No, he'll go head on. They don't know what he's going to do. But what my point was, that they had an internal dispute, intra the court. And the dispute was, should the Chief Justice be alone deciding the benches and composition of...
And that started back when there was, Obara busted case.
Obara busted case. Now, the Chief Justice should not do it alone, should have two senior judges sitting. They knew that the two senior judges are both Faiz Issa camp, and they will decide, and they will decide and form a bench that is entirely to the preference of Nawaz Sharif and the PMLN, and this is now so evident. You can tell. I have been saying in the media that the four judges have branded every judge on the forehead, left or right. And you can tell from the composition of the bench what the decision is going to be. Now, but on this, elections within 90 days, every judge would have agreed. But the problem, Rameez, is that this matter has lingered so long, this animus between the judges. They don't shake hands with each other. That it has wrecked the system of justice.
Have they gone past the point where there is a possibility of truce?
No, never. And Umar has just 3 months to go.
So there is no need for truce?
No need for truce.
With that, we come to the end of this interview. Till next time, take care and bye-bye.